Welcome to the deep dive. We're jumping into the sources you sent about mitochondria.
Yeah, the powerhouses of the cell, right. But it's way more than just energy.
Exactly. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key stuff from your research, why they sometimes, falter,
Mm.
and what we can actually do about it.
And there are some really practical steps, some specific compounds mentioned in the material. It gets quite detailed.
Hey, let's dive in then. The sources really seem to hit on this core problem, mitochondrial stress.
Uh-huh. Dysfunction. And a big driver seems to be oxidative stress. You see that mentioned a lot.
Right, oxidative stress. The sources explain it's from these reactive oxygen species, ROS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Little unstable molecules doing damage. And they
Yeah.
specifically mention damage to lipids, like in the mitochondria themselves.
Okay, and what fuels that stress, according to the material?
Well, a lot of it comes down to not having enough of the right nutrients. Vitamins, minerals, sure, but antioxidants are critical.
Antioxidants.
Yeah, and your sources specifically flag the depletion of glutathione as a major issue. Big contributor to that stress.
Glutathione. Got it. Did they mention ways to support that?
Uh-huh. Compounds like N-acetylcysteine, NAC, come up as being supportive for glutathione levels.
So if the mitochondria are stressed, damaged, not getting these components, energy production tanks.
Pretty much. The sources link it directly to fatigue, feeling drained, and connected to a whole range of other health issues, too. It's foundational.
Okay, so that's the problem. But the good news is the research you looked at outlines solutions, a whole approach, really.
Yes, definitely. Starting with the basics lifestyle.
And this is where it gets really practical. Diet seems huge in the sources, providing the raw materials.
Very much so. A whole foods approach is really emphasized. Lots of vegetables, fruits, they even suggest amounts, like 6 to 9 cups a day.
Wow, okay. Specific types.
Yeah, leafy greens, colorful stuff, sulfur-rich veggies like broccoli or onions. Variety seems key.
And fats.
Healthy fats are definitely in there. Avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds, fish, the usual suspects.
Did the sources mention carbs?
They did. There was discussion around potentially reducing carbs, even touching on ideas like ketogenic approaches for mitochondrial energy. Interesting stuff.
And beyond diet.
No,
Movement, right?
absolutely. Physical activity is presented as vital, both aerobic, like running, biking, and resistance training.
And that's not just for general fitness.
No, the sources say it actually signals your body to make more mitochondria and make the existing ones work better, more efficient.
Makes sense. What about sleep?
Crucial. Maintaining those circadian rhythms, getting consistent sleep, seems really important for mitochondrial repair and function based on your materials. Managing stress, too, is part of that foundational picture.
Okay, so diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, the foundations. But what if that's not quite enough?
Yeah.
The sources also talked about targeted support, right? Supplements?
Yes, especially in maybe more chronic situations or where deficiencies are clear. The material lists quite a few specific compounds.
Like CoQ10, that one comes up a lot.
Definitely CoQ10. It's a core part of the energy production chain and an antioxidant. Your sources also mention melatonin, actually, for its antioxidant role.
Melatonin, interesting, beyond just sleep.
Yeah. And then you have things directly involved in the energy process itself. B vitamins are essential cofactors. Succinic acid was mentioned too.
Okay, so helping the machinery run. What else?
There's L-carnitine, which the sources highlight for like transporting fatty acids, the fuel, into the mitochondria.
Right, getting the fuel to the furnace.
Exactly. And others seem focused on protection or providing building blocks. Alpha-lipoic acid, another antioxidant. Resveratrol, PQQ, creatine for energy recycling.
Okay, quite a list.
Yeah, and curcumin, niacinamide, EGCG from green tea, citicoline, ginkgo biloba, even butyrate came up.
Butyrate. Isn't that usually linked to gut health?
It is, but your sources apparently show a connection to mitochondrial function, too. It's all interconnected. Minerals like magnesium are also vital cofactors mentioned.
So pulling all this together from the research you analyzed, what's the big picture for someone listening?
Well, it really shows that paying attention to these tiny organelles can make a huge difference. Better energy, less fatigue, maybe sharper thinking.
And potentially building resilience against chronic issues.
That's the idea. Supporting mitochondrial health supports overall cellular health and resilience against the damage linked to lots of conditions.
So based on the sources, it's not just one magic bullet. It's this integrated approach.
Exactly. Diet, exercise, sleep, managing stress, and then maybe some targeted support with these specific nutrients and compounds if needed. They all work together.
It really drives home that link between your everyday choices and what's happening right down at the cellular level.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How might focusing on your cellular energy factories shift how you approach your health day to day?